Hi there, and welcome to day 4 of the Launching Made Easy workshop. I'm back. I'm your host, Megan Huber, Business Acceleration Mentor and offer strategist for coaches who are building multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses who are mission driven, impact driven, just like you. And I know that's exactly why you were drawn to this very workshop with me, because you are someone who wants to have such a massive impact. You are so dedicated to honing your craft, and you want to build an amazing business, experience an incredible life, but really get to do the amazing good work in the world that you have been created to do. So I am so excited to dive into today's content. So come on in, say hello, let me know how you're doing today. We are on day 4 of our series here. I think you might find today one of the most exciting, if not the most exciting, training so far. We're going to talk about amplifying the sales that you're making during your launch event. So get ready for that. Say hello. Hey, Leah, I see you. Welcome back to day 4. I'm excited to talk to you tomorrow. I saw you in my calendar. So excited. Everyone else, go ahead and say hi. Let me know how you're doing today. And here's the thing about sales. I was going to take a sip of my coffee. Look at that cup. Look at that bird. There's so many things that all of us have tried. And especially with this launch process here, you can create the most amazing content. You can have a title. You can do all the lead generation. You could be deploying this strategy. You could have a beautiful workbook. You could have your amazing landing page. You could have your beautiful graphics. And here's the deal. None of it really matters unless people are saying yes to the transformation that you are providing them. And every single one of us, we're a coach or a mentor or a service provider because we are here to do good work. And here's the truth. We all know this. We all know this because you have worked with clients before. Your clients get the best of you. Your clients get the best of themselves. Your clients get to experience the most epic transformation that you are here to provide when, and only when, and not until they join your program. You know, I was just posting about this inside of our Momentum Facebook group for our clients. I believe it was yesterday. And the post went a little something like this. It is completely out of integrity to show up and teach people all your free stuff and not invite them consistently into your program. Because that is almost like cruelty. It's cruel. Because what we do is we teach, and oftentimes we can hide behind the teaching because we have something on asking people to do business with us. We don't want to feel salesy. We don't want to be spammy. We don't want to bother people. We don't want to come across as pushy. You may feel a lack of worthiness. You may feel a lack of deservedness. There could be some self-consciousness issues. We could fear rejection. We could fear what people are going to think about us. But when we're getting into that space, what's happening in the sales part of the process is we're making it about ourselves. So when we have those types of thoughts and we play small and we don't give people the opportunity to say yes, we're making it about us and we're not making it about them. And when someone says yes to you, they are not committing to you. They are not committing to your program. They are not committing to your offer. They are actually, for a lot of clients, they are actually saying yes to themselves for the first time in a brand new way. And guess what? It's freaking scary. It's scary for your ideal client to be sitting here, soaking up all your free content, enjoying your energy, enjoying the experience, And then to think about taking that step. And it's scary because your ideal client knows it's going to be work. They know it's going to be work. They know that at times it's going to be uncomfortable. They know that they're going to have to stop playing small. They know that they're going to have to make some shifts, some adjustments, and some changes. And there is this piece of it that is also uncertain. And here's what we all know. We all love certainty, even if it is chaotic, even if we are stuck, even if we are playing a small game, even if we are in this soup of excuses. Your client has learned how to function in that. And they've learned how to create reasons and excuses and all the things inside their mind. And what's really happening is their mind is managing them and they're not managing their mind. And this piece is really important for you to keep in mind, because it's not just about, let me just go teach all my stuff and let me invite people to join my program. And because I have a program, everybody's going to buy it. I wish it were that easy, but it's not actually that easy. So I want you to really embrace the ask. I want you to really embrace the ask. And it's really the ask where you are inviting people to create and build and design what they've always been saying they truly desire. You do not have any control over who says yes to you, who says no to you, how many people say yes to you. You don't have control over whether or not they pay you in full or the payment plan. We don't have any control over that. What you do have control over is anything that you can do. And here's what you can do. You can ask your clients to work with you. You can ask your clients to say yes to themselves. You can ask your clients to step into a new level of transformation. You can ask your clients to move in a new direction. You can ask your clients to close the gap between where they are now to where they desire to be. This is not necessarily in your notes, but your audience, an ideal client, actually needs to hear and ask at least usually 16 times. 16 times. So I want you to start looking at your ask as an invitation, and it is an opportunity that you are giving your ideal clients to transform their lives in whatever area you are an expert in, whether it's health, relationship, business, money, spirituality. We have all that inside of Momentum and more, but your ask is an opportunity. And if you are not consistently asking people and consistently presenting people with an opportunity, like, let's just all be real with each other. There are not that many people in any of our lives who are constantly asking us to raise the bar. There are not that many people in our lives who are asking us to transform and to become the best version of who we can be. There are not that many people in our lives who are constantly giving us an invitation and an opportunity to operate and be at a high level of excellence, operating from our most high self. I mean, can you even count on, do you even need 5 fingers to count? Like, do you really, really have a constant, like people who are constants in your life, who are constantly inviting you and giving you an opportunity to go to the next level? Most people try to tear us down when we talk about being the better version of ourselves. Most people try to tell us, oh, you shouldn't go invest that money because you need money for this over here. Or, oh, aren't you happy enough? Isn't it good enough? Isn't what you have right now enough? Why do you have to go for more? And that's really what the world has taught us. It's what society has taught us. It's what a lot of our parents taught us growing up. So I want you to really, really embrace this idea that your ask, your invitation is the greatest opportunity that you are giving your audience. It's the greatest opportunity you're giving your ideal client. And the only reason that someone is sitting around long enough to give you their time and their attention and to sit around and take notes and to be part of what you have to offer, it's because they are where they are right now and they desire to be here and they are not there yet. And they think that you might just have a solution for them. And they want it, or they wouldn't be sitting here listening to you. They want it with everything in their being. And most people are stopped because of the old conditioning. They're stopped because of their mind trying to protect them. And as soon as you make the invitation to your audience, the brain, if your audience is not managing their own mind, here's what the brain does. The brain, I'm giving you like insider scoop here. The brain, as soon as your ideal client hears the invitation, the brain is firing off 10 to 15 reasons why they shouldn't say yes. Not because they don't want to say yes. Even objections. Did you know that an objection, when you hear an objection, it is actually a cry for help from the person with the objection? And in the back of their mind, they won't tell you this, but in the back of their mind, they hope and they're hoping and wishing that you will be the one who helps them overcome their own objection about themselves. That is what an objection actually means. Write that down. That should be like light bulbs should be firing off. We think objections are about us. We think when we hear objections, we didn't do a good job, that we didn't show the value, that our stuff isn't good, that we don't have the right clients. And again, we make it all about us. An objection, when somebody bothers to tell you what their objection is, they are hoping and wishing that somebody will step up and be courageous enough to actually have a conversation with them so that they stop using that same objection over and over and over and over again in every area of their life. Because whatever objection you are hearing from your ideal clients, that is the exact reason why they are not where they desire to be in every area of their life. It doesn't just have to do with investing money. If you went and evaluated them and observed them for a period of time, you would see that that objection is actually showing up in relationship. It's showing up in health and well-being. It's showing up in spirituality. It's showing up in business. It's showing up everywhere. So by you being courageous enough to talk with that person, to help them make a decision that is actually in alignment with their heart's truest desire, that is the absolute greatest gift that we as coaches, as leaders, as mentors can be giving to our audience. That is one of the reasons why this full process of the Launching Made Easy system is 9 days. Some people already have that question. It's going to be really, really clear for you today why this is actually 9 days. And it's also going to be really clear to you perhaps in the past when you've done some form of inviting people to work with you. I think it's really going to open your eyes as to why perhaps maybe it hasn't worked as well in the past, and you're going to be able to really shift that moving forward. So I've seen some more people come on. Hey, Sheila. Hey, Vicky. Hey, Leanne. Hey, Joshua. Hey, Janelle. Hey, Carol. Hey, Juanita. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Lisa. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey, Paula. So good to see you there. Before we dive into the workbook here, I wrote down a couple of questions. I would love to hear from all of you and really help you anchor into this. You know, I don't talk a whole lot, and we haven't really talked about it a lot here in this workshop about what your big why is. Like, what's the thing that is so deep ingrained in your spirit and your soul and your heart that you would let absolutely nothing stop you from completing your mission while you're here? What is that big why for you? I would love for you all, if you feel comfortable sharing that in the comments section. What is it? I know for me, with what I'm building in business and also in my life, because it's not like the only thing we pay attention to is making money. We have a life to live. We have an adventure to have. You do not want to get all of your adventure from your business, by the way. It's one of the things we talk about in our programs. All of your adventure should not be coming from your business. You want a lot of your adventure to come from your life so that you can focus on repetition and the power of one in your business, because sometimes it is not as adventurous as you would like it to be. But I know for me, I have got such a big grand vision for not just my business, but for my clients. And I know why I'm here on this earth. And I can't not do it. I can't not figure out how to make it work. I can't not overcome my own self-limiting beliefs. It's like it feels like it's pulling you forward in that direction. And I think for a lot of us, it really feels like, I know, and this are Megan's words and like how I describe this and articulate it, but to me, it's like each one of us, each one of you have really been chosen. You've been chosen, and this vision was placed on you. That is honestly how I feel. I don't know that I came up with this vision. I don't know that I could ever say, oh, I came up with this vision. I came up with all of this. I feel such a responsibility. I feel such a responsibility to carry out the mission, to carry out the vision, to bring the vision into physical fruition. And it just so happens that that vision involves you. That vision involves clients. That vision involves team. That vision involves community, who I really see as family. And I couldn't possibly just make excuses about why I'm not being the best version of myself, why I'm not investing in myself, why I'm not doing what I need to do on my end to become the version of myself who actually can fully carry out that vision. So that's what it feels like to me. I would love to just have all of you, give you a chance to express that for you. Again, I don't think there's very many people who ask us that question where we get to really tap into what that is for us. Yes, Nora, I'm so glad you made it live. Kudos to Nora, literally has been like catching up. She said like, wow, she's like getting ready in the morning. Super committed. I'm so glad you were able to catch up with all the recordings. I love that. Awesome, Carol. I know that God has called me to this as a ministry to help women who struggle with unwanted pounds and shame to gain confidence while learning how to love themselves the way God loves them so they can step more and more fully into all He has for them. So many of my clients know there is more, yet they get so stuck inside their own thoughts. I exist to help them live free and fulfilled with passion and purpose. Amazing. And like, we'll just use Carol's as an example. Can Carol do that at the level of free? Can Carol do that because she's got a free Facebook group? Can Carol do that because she goes live on Facebook once a week? Can Carol do that because she has a cute lead magnet? Can Carol do that because she like stands on a stage every once in a while for 30 minutes and gives a quick talk and an overview? Can Carol carry out that mission and vision with those people and really connect with those human beings unless she is calling them to a higher purpose? So this is where part of your mission, part of your vision includes the invitation process. A lot of people in business stop at invitation. They stop at the ask. I was actually like 7 minutes before I got on here, I was doing a Q&A in somebody else's program because I taught them, I did like a 90-minute training recorded on the Launching Made Easy framework, and today they had a Q&A. And somebody actually asked me, this was her question. She said, how do we not give so much away for free so that people actually buy from us? And my response to that was, I give my best stuff away for free because I want you to have this idea that, dang, if she's this good and is this supportive for free, what the heck am I going to get inside of the program? And that is just a mindset shift. It's not about you giving away too much for free. It's that people don't follow all the way through. And it is of integrity for all of you to not just show up and teach the free, but to very boldly ask and invite people to join your program, because that is what closes the loop. If you just do all your stuff for free and then you send people off on their way, it is of a massive disservice because they do not have your degree and level of experience and what it is that you are actually going to mentor them on. So what we do is we send people off, we send them right back to where they were before. And the biggest thing is they're not changing their mindset. So someone could come get all your free stuff, and then you don't really kind of have a bold invitation, or you don't invite enough times, or you don't do what you need to do to overcome the objections or help them make a decision. So they think, oh, I'm just going to go do it on my own, or oh, I've got this support over here, I'll just go do it. And that usually never happens. And here's the biggest thing. Number one, they're not getting the full, complete picture and every little tiny detail that goes along with your body of work. Number one, there's no way in God's green earth you can give it all for free. Number two, they're not changing their mindset. They might think they shifted their mindset or are looking at something a little bit differently, but all of us have been on an everyday journey, probably since we got into personal development. We're working on our mindset every single day. And you can't see the label from inside the jar. So when you send people away without inviting them to your program, you're not helping them, because they're still making every single decision from behind their own blind spots. And they're going to try to go implement what they think they know how to do from your free stuff. And they're going to get pissed off and frustrated and exhausted because it doesn't work, because they didn't change their mindset, because they weren't plugged into your work. They weren't plugged into your energy. They weren't plugged into that next level that you're going to take them, where you're working on your mindset with them, their mindset, and you're working on whatever the strategy or the structure or the whatever it is that you do. That's the two biggest pieces that they're missing. So this ask is incredibly important. It's why we're spending quite a bit of time talking about that. So let's dive into your workbook. We are on page 14, and I can't wait to go back and read more of your whys and respond to those later this afternoon. So keep typing those in if you're live or watching the replay. Let's dive into your workbook, page 14. We're on part 4, deliver and convert. I hope I have convinced you so far that you want to be asking all the time for people to work with you for their sake and for yours and the financial stability of your business long term. We're going to start at the top of the page where we've got some fill in the blank. And I'm also going to break down the 9 days and what you're going to include in the 9 days of the actual launch. But it's more than just 9 days. And you're really going to get a sense of how this whole entire process works from start to finish. It's not just 9 days. So the first line says the launch event all by itself does not. Fill in, do all the selling. So just the 9 days, that is not what does all of your selling for you. And a lot of people could be doubling and tripling their results that they're seeing in whatever type of conversion event they're hosting if they were doing the right things in between. So it is all about building relationships. It's all about teaching to the objections. It's all about what are the things that my audience has to believe, so that when I invite them to my program, it is going to be an easier yes. Obviously, if it's the ideal client. What are the things that my ideal client must believe in order for them to say yes to themselves and join my vehicle to get the result they desire? Because my vehicle is a solution. And that, my friends, that piece right there that I just said, what do I have to get my audience to believe to say yes? That's the thing that 99% of all coaches do not know how to do, because nobody's teaching it. Luckily, we actually teach that inside of our Momentum program. I recently brought on a marketing director. She teaches copywriting, messaging, and launch strategy. And we have actually spent the last 4 weeks just helping our clients identify that, because once you nail that, you have nailed your entire message in your business. It is like the most magical thing ever. Every single one of our clients have said nobody's ever taught them that before. They never knew it. So that piece is really, really important. What I want to really advise you is that the launch event itself, do not put 100% of the pressure on you or the launch event itself, because it'll crash and burn if you're putting all the pressure on those 9 days. What makes it so stress-free is your consistency in between the launches. And we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like. All right, the second line, fill in the blank. We've already talked about this, but this is really a commitment that you want to make in your business and to yourself. Plan to launch 6 times in one 12-month period of time. Plan to launch 6 times. Now, inside of our program, we help you figure out how to construct your program so that that is actually possible. The reason why you want to launch 6 times is because, okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem in the industry, and here's the problem with so many coaching programs and whatever courses that are out there. It's that everybody wants you to think that you've got to have the next latest, greatest tactic, or you're missing out and you're going to be behind. And you're not going to be able to make money and you're not going to be able to get clients. For instance, I am not an expert in Instagram. I might have an account. I show up there every once in a while, but I'm not like going to I'm not reading people's social media posts that are talking about, oh my gosh, let me teach you how to make money using Instagram Reels. You've got to get on TikTok because everybody's on TikTok and you're missing so much money that you could be making on TikTok. I could care less. Why? I don't need to be an expert. You do not need to be an expert on 52 different tactics, because without the right strategy or the right mindset, those tactics don't even matter. It's all those tactics that you think you have to have. That's what's causing your exhaustion. That is what's causing you to be confused. That is what's causing you to question yourself every time you turn around. That is what's causing the burnout. That is what is causing you to be like, why the heck am I not any further along by now? It's all those things that you think you need because that's what you're being sold to. And of course, people want you to think that. What I'm offering is that you commit to repetition and you commit to focusing and doubling down on one main strategy to fill your program so that that program is actually generating 80% of the revenue in your business. And I think I said this before, you do this 6 times, 9 days, you're only looking at 54 days in a year out of 365. I would be okay making high 6-7 figures, showing up 6 times a year, 9 days, obviously showing up in between that as well to build relationships. I think I'd be pretty cool with that. How about you? Would you be okay with that? Yeah. So anything in your business is going to work when you focus on the repetition of it. The reason why in the beginning of a business, or even if you've been doing this for a few years and it still feels like heavy lifting, here's why. And this is why I get a lot of questions about lead generation and it feels like it's so hard. In the beginning, or like really before you get to 100K a year, the reason why there's so much heavy lifting is because you do not have a reputation yet in your space. That is just the honest truth. Until you have a reputation, until you have brand recognition, until you have brand positioning, it is always going to feel like heavy lifting because nobody knows who you are and nobody knows what you're known for. And nobody knows, oh, go to her. She's the go-to person for that. That is what she specializes in. I am literally giving you the recipe for you to build your brand reputation, your brand recognition, and your brand positioning through having your signature framework that you turn into a signature launch event where you are inviting people into your flagship program and you rinse and repeat that process. It is so doggone stress-free once you've done it a couple of times and you really get your sea legs about it. This is by far the fastest, easiest, most simple way to build those brand reputation, brand recognition, brand positioning so that you literally put yourself in a league of your own. Now everybody's talking about you. Now everybody's sending their people to you. But before that, it is just like this one by one thing. When am I gonna crack the code? This is how you crack the code right here with this. In terms of like, is this process stressful? Because I do get a lot of people ask me like, oh my gosh, do I have to go live 9 days? Let me just give you a little glimpse into my life the last couple of weeks and you'll see how possible this is. So what is today? September the 24th? Okay, it's Thursday, September the 24th. Last week, I have 5 pets. We have 2 tortoises, we have a cat, and we have 2 dogs. And our 2 dogs, I think they're like 12 and 13 years old, or 13 and 14. So one of our dogs got really, really ill last week. It was very unexpected. It was very, very shocking. We literally like woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. She is downstairs. In our downstairs, we have a 3-story house. It's a tile floor. The whole entire floor is covered in blood. I mean, covered in blood. It's on the walls, it's on the baseboards, it's on the floor, it's on the tub, it's everywhere. She's laying in the middle of it. lifeless, barely breathing, and we're freaking out. And we rush, my husband rushes her off to the vet. That was on a Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. She stayed in the hospital until Friday. We got her back around 5 o'clock Friday. If any of you have had any type of like traumatic experience that is so unexpected, whether it's with a pet or a family member or something in your life, it just throws you. Your adrenaline is pumping, your emotions are all over the place, you're scared, you're worried. Obviously, your day and your week, it almost like feels like it goes down the drain. Sean and I were canceling calls that day with clients. He's really out of sorts. We still have a daughter, we still have other pets, we still have life, we still have clients, you still have things that you're managing. That was our last week. Also, what comes with that is a lot of unexpected expenses. So in addition to that, you have to pay a $5,000 bill to the vet hospital. So it was a $5,000 bill. So that was one thing. That was my last week. This week, we're moving. So I'm actually in the middle of moving houses. I am surrounded by boxes. I am surrounded by those big black garbage trash bags with stuff and clothes and towels and sheets. The majority of my kitchen is packed. My house is full of all types of moving things. All week, we're setting up internet, we're setting up electricity, we're setting up water, all these things. There's a very large 5-figure investment to move into the house. Our move date is actually Sunday. So that'll be my day 7 of this launch event, and I am moving on Sunday. We are still here, and it's awesome. Also, I'm doing a fitness program. It's not really a fitness program. Some of you have probably heard of it. I know Leah is doing it. I know some of my clients are doing it. It's called 75 Hard. So I'm on day 24 of 75 Hard. Drink a gallon of water a day, clean eating, no cheat meals, no alcohol. I don't drink anyway, and work out 2 times a day. I'm on day 24. Did I say 24? I'm on day 24 of that, and it's still happening. I'm eating dinner with my family every night. I am waking up and doing my morning routine, just like I always do my morning routine. I am still running my programs. I'm not running around crazy. In fact, sometimes I'm like laying on the couch while I'm messaging you all in the comments section. So there's a whole lot of beauty and grace and flow and ease with this process, and why it works so well, and why I can still show up for you in the way that I'm showing up, and show up for myself, and show up for the business, and show up for the vision in this process, is because I've done it enough times. I've repeated it. And so often we don't give ourselves the opportunity to land on something and stick with it long enough so that we become masters at it, and it starts to work like a well-oiled machine. That's why you do it. That's why you're teaching the same thing every time you do it. Once you've done it once or twice, same workbook, same landing page, same content that you're teaching, you're not changing your framework all the time. So once you've done it a few times, you just get to shine even brighter. You figure out what really works. It's been a really amazing experience for me, and I really wanted to share this with you today because I think it's very easy for anybody who's watching any of you to assume that you've got it all together, to assume that you're perfect, to assume that you live in a perfect house, that the sun is always shining outside wherever you live, that everything's amazing, that you're just smarter, that you don't have to worry about all these other things that I have to worry about. And this was actually, super transparently, my first experience of running my own event where literally it's like chaos is going around my whole world. And I think it's so important for us as leaders to share the reality and the truth of what's really going on. And I share that because I don't want you to think I'm like this superwoman, oh, that's just easier for you. I'm able to do it because when you will allow yourself to repeat and focus, and you will allow yourself to do hard things. And you will allow yourself to step into the land of uncertainty. And you let yourself stay there instead of constantly retreating back and letting your brain tell you what to do. What you're actually doing is you are building and strengthening yourself mentally and emotionally. So the reason why I'm able to do it, and this is probably the most, out of all the launches I've done, this, the way it feels to me, it's probably like the least, there's not an ounce of stress that I feel at all with all of this stuff going on. That is really a testament to me kind of showing myself and me observing this in myself, that it's building your emotional and your mental strength. That doesn't happen by yourself. That doesn't happen in a vacuum. It doesn't happen when you make excuses. It doesn't happen because you let yourself off the hook. It doesn't happen when you cut corners. It doesn't happen when you try to take shortcuts. It doesn't happen when you stay comfortable and you just try to keep plugging along. That happens for you, and you really elevate yourself as a leader of yourself, of your clients, of your community, of your business, of your family, of your life, of your world, because you are intentionally making decisions in your life that is positioning you in a places of uncertainty, and you have full-blown trust that you can figure anything out. You have full-blown trust that whatever decision you make, you are going to make that decision right, and no one else is in charge of that but you. So I do want to share, I get a lot of questions about this. Is this really stressful? Does this really burn you out? How am I going to do this with everything else I have going on? I'm so busy. I am just as human as you are. And I am so incredibly grateful that I have this process in place in my business, because it has allowed me not to skip a beat, even when shit is hitting the fan in your life. So you can breathe a sigh of relief. If you have lots of things swirling around in your mind, can I do this? Is this going to work for me? I don't have this figured out. I don't have a group yet. I don't have a name yet. I've got this, I've got that. We cannot lead from that place. That is not a powerful place. It's a very disempowering place to be. We must no longer make our decisions based on the circumstances that we currently see in our lives if we ever stand a chance of really bringing our massive vision to light in this world. If we're constantly making our decisions from the place of our existing circumstances that we can see with our eyes, then we're just going to keep creating the same thing over and over and over again. So let's keep going here on the second half of the page. I want to share with you that there are 5 main phases to the ultimate process of launching that I teach. So there are things that help this 9 days be much more smooth sailing, much more joyful, much more enjoyable for you, and much more stress-free. Remember, you don't put all the pressure on just the 9 days, because you will freak out and be stressed out. So here's what really makes it work incredibly well for you. And it ends up being like this system and cycle that you know you're running, so that what it does for you is it eliminates you constantly wondering, what am I supposed to do today in my business? What am I supposed to talk about today? When am I going to have a pop of money coming in again? It really eliminates all that scatteredness. And I think that oftentimes we think we're working really hard in our business, when in actuality, we're thinking really hard. So when you've got a beautiful system in place, there's your masculine container, so that you can flow your creative juiciness into that masculine container. And the system and the structure is what is going to provide you with epic amounts of freedom, both in your life and in your business. So here are those 5 phases of the whole process. And if you want to jot off to the side, what week in the process, so that you kind of see how many weeks this is. So phase 1, right in the word roadmap. Roadmap is phase one. This is your roadmap. The roadmap is also where you're creating your, what I call assets. So you would create your landing page, your thank you page, your welcome email. If you want to create your workbook, if you want to kind of identify like, how am I going to generate leads? Identify, am I going to have anybody support me? Am I going to have a virtual assistant build something out for me? Am I going to have, for the next few weeks, am I going to focus on a certain kind of content? And you're just going to kind of like map that out. But you're really just getting like this high level overview of what the process is going to be. You are figuring out what those milestones are going to be for you. And you are really positioning yourself to lead the process and get the moving parts and pieces in place so that once they're done, they're done. And the cool thing again about this, like once you've got a landing page, you don't have to keep creating a new landing page. It's done. You're teaching the same thing every time. Workbook, it's done. You don't have to do it ever again after you do it the first time, unless you want to tweak a few things in the future to make it, if it needs to be improved. So the roadmap would be like weeks 1 and 2. You're kind of creating it. You're going to build it out. It's so minimal though. It's so minimal. It doesn't take much time. So that would take you like 1 to 2 weeks. But we're not talking about 2 40-hour weeks. It's like put a block of time on your calendar for 2 hours and go figure out your landing page. It's easy. But you would give yourself like a couple of weeks to kind of plan that out. Phase 2 is what I call the runway. Phase 2 is the runway. I would put in parentheses, this is vital. It is vital, the runway. The runway makes or breaks your launch. This is the most overlooked step in the process, the runway. Give yourself 3 weeks. So this would be week 3, 4, and 5. Week 3, 4, and 5, that's the runway. Remember Tuesday, I think I shared you want to promote your launch event for 3 weeks. So that is the runway. The runway is the promotional period. So some of you joined as early as 3 weeks ago. I started promoting this on August the 31st. What that does is you're talking about the same thing. So again, you've got to really think the perception of your audience. You want your audience to see you talking about this thing for like weeks and weeks and weeks, because everybody's like, wow, what's this thing she's got going on? And it's kind of like you're using that time to build up excitement, you're building up energy, and you've got 3 weeks to go ahead and start building a more solid relationship with the people who are going to be experiencing your actual event, instead of just waiting until they come in and that's like their first experience of you. Now, some people are going to join while it's actually going on. I've had every single launch, I've got people who had never heard of my name before, joined on day 2, and they were the first person to join the actual program. So this process also, it's like puts that relationship building process on warp speed. But the runway is critical. The runway is also where you are teaching content that is already starting to overcome your audience's objections. So that 3 weeks is where you're really building belief, and you're already talking about the same subjects that you're going to be teaching inside of your launch event. Do we see how that really simplifies all this content creation? Right? Do you see how, oh gosh, I get it. It's like I'm teaching this signature framework. The weeks leading up to that, I'm just teaching a lot of the same content, because remember, your audience needs to see the same message at least 16 times. This is the power of repetition for your audience and also for you. This is what is going to literally eliminate hours of work for you and eliminate all the overthinking about what the heck am I supposed to talk about. This process tells you what to talk about. So that's your runway. Phase 3 is what I call the reveal. Phase 3 is the reveal. And phase 3, that's week 6. Okay, so you did your 3 weeks of promo, and the reveal was like our Monday together. So the reveal is day 1. That is when you kick it off. All your people are here. You do your day 1, and you start teaching your framework. So that is the reveal. So the reveal is the 5 days where you are actually teaching your framework. That's the reveal. So day 1 through 5, I would consider the reveal. You are revealing to people what this signature framework is, which is exactly the main framework, the main strategy you're going to help them implement and shift and tweak and learn and grow with in your actual program, so that your program becomes a no-brainer yes for your audience. Because your most ideal clients, they're the ones who understand fully that the way that they are actually going to give themselves the best chance to be successful with what you just taught is they have to implement it. And I think the statistic is, Elizabeth shared this last night, I think she said only like 3%, it's like 2 or 3% of people will actually do and implement what they learn totally on their own. The like 97% of people won't, and that's why we require so much accountability. So that's your reveal. Phase 4 is the rev up phase. Phase 4 is rev up. This is when you get into the invitation portion. The rev up begins on day 4 and it ends on day 9. So that is really kind of going into week 7. Okay, so you're going to get to hear me talk about momentum today in just a few minutes. So make sure you stay on for that. So today, day 4, this is really where we start to transition into the rev up phase, because this is where you're doing the invitation, people are joining your program. This is also the piece where people peter off and they die off and they don't want to do more than 5 days. And they think, oh, I told you about my program, you should just join my program. Trust me, that's not how people buy. Some will. You will definitely have people who buy from you before you even finish day 4. You will have people buy from you and you don't even have to talk to them. But there's such an opportunity on days 6, 7, 8, and 9 that people forget about. So the rev up is why you go beyond the 4 to 5 days and you do day 6, 7, 8, and 9, because you're going to continue the invitation process. You're going to continue having consultations with people. You're going to continue to show up and deliver what a buyer needs to believe to say yes to you. You cannot just show up and teach great content and expect people to say yes. And then the 5th phase is review and recover. The 5th phase is review and recover. Again, it's kind of like this forgettable piece that people don't want to do. However, it is what is going to help you make it even 10 times better the next time you do it. So another word for that is debrief. So that would be like week 8, end of week 7, week 8. I would say that the review is the biggest missed opportunity in your business when people don't do it. You want to be looking at like, why did it work? Why did it not work? What do I want to repeat? What do I not repeat? It's why people are in our program, because here's the truth. Not everybody's first launch is going to be a smashing, mind-blowing success. It might take you launching 3 times for it to be a smashing, mind-blowing success. You might need to launch 5 times. You might need to launch 7 times before you see a $250,000 launch. I don't know. But it is when people come into our program, most people stop doing something because they try it one time. They try it one time. They do not have mentorship when they try it. It does not work at the level they wanted it to, meaning they don't get the result that they thought they were going to get. And then they say, oh, this doesn't work. And then they don't debrief. The first mistake was they tried to do it on their own and they didn't have proper mentorship. So they're missing all the nuances that go along with that. They're missing tapping into someone's entire mind and being who's experienced whatever you are going to be teaching them over and over and over and over again. And they are just saying, oh, I'm just going to go on to the next thing. And then they start over. So oftentimes we aren't successful in our business because we keep starting over. And we never get traction, we never get momentum. You really do have to be on board to commit. So those are your 5 phases. And then skip over to the next page, page 15. And I'm gonna break down, you'll just fill in those boxes. There's a nice chart on page 15. And I'm gonna walk you through what are you doing during these 9 days. So you pretty much, we're on day 4. You can kind of tell what we're doing, right? So day 1, you are teaching. So just write in teach on day one. Day one, you're teaching. And day one, that is really where you are introducing your framework, your methodology. You are giving the high level overview of it, and you are really getting into the reasons why it is a new and different opportunity from everything else your ideal client has tried before. Because remember, your ideal client has already been trying to get the results that you are promising in your program. No one's going to buy something if they've already tried it before and it didn't work. They want something that is going to be new and different, and they need to know that you've got a process. So that is really what you're doing on day one. Day two, you're teaching again. So just write in teach on day two. And on day two, you start to teach what are the main pillars that really make my framework work for people. So with this, I taught lead generation on day two, because if you don't generate leads, you've got nobody to talk to. So you have to generate leads in order for this framework to work for you. Day three, teach again. And day three, teach the next pillar. What's the next pillar that really makes your methodology work? For us here, I taught positioning and messaging and engagement once people are actually in. So the positioning of your actual launch event, the positioning and the messaging of each day so that people show up and consume. And how do you get people to show up and actually consume? Because if they don't consume, they're not going to stick around and buy. So that's what you're teaching on day three. What's that second big pillar of your framework to make it work? Day four, teach again. Teach again on day four. That is the third big pillar that makes your framework actually work. What is that for you? So today, use this as an example. This is our day four. I'm teaching, and I'm teaching the sales and conversion pillar, because you could generate leads, you could have all the right messaging, positioning, you could keep people engaged. But if people don't buy, then we don't fill our program. So you have to get good at the sales and conversion process. So that's what we taught today. Day five, which is Friday, that's where you teach your fourth big pillar that makes your framework work. So tomorrow, we're going to teach how you're actually going to design and plan out your launch. We're going to put dates down, and I'm going to help you like really bring it to another level in terms of it's not just an idea. It's not just something that's scrambled in your mind. You're actually going to put things down on paper and start making some decisions and some commitments to some dates, and that you're actually going to go do this. So that will be our day five. So you're teaching day one through day five. I want you to go back to day four and day five, and I want you to put plus invite. So day four, you're going to transition into the invitation to your program on day four, which should be today. Day five, you're teaching, and you mustn't forget that you have to keep inviting on day five. So when you come back tomorrow, you're going to hear me again talk about the Momentum program, and I will extend the invitation multiple times tomorrow. Okay, this is the biggest missed opportunity when people get to this part. They think, oh, I invited everybody on Thursday. Everybody knows about it. I'm just going to keep show up and teaching, and everybody who wants to join is just going to join. And then they don't mention it on day five. They don't even mention their program on day five. They don't extend an actual, do you want to join my program? If you want to join my program, go to and join now. They don't do it. They don't do it. Guess what? People won't buy. If we don't ask, people don't buy. So once you make your initial invitation on day four, day 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, your audience should hear you make the invitation, I would say 5 to 10 times. So you want to weave it into your messaging and weave it into how your presentation, because if the mind doesn't hear the invitation, remember, it needs to hear you invite at least 16 times. Your early adopters, they need to hear it once. Your early adopters have already decided on Wednesday they're going to join your program, and they're like, well, you just shut up and invite us. That's your early buyers. early adopters, but that's only like a few people. Everybody else needs to hear that invitation quite a few more times, and you've got to ask quite a few more times. So now we're really getting into the sales process before you close down your cart. So here's what you do on day 6. This is Saturday. Yes, Saturday. Day 6, you're going to do a Q&A. This is where you ask your audience, hey, what questions do you have? They're going to give you their questions. You're also going to come with some questions, which are basically, what are all the objections that your audience has? What are all the things what's that tape playing through my ideal client's head and all the reasons why they think they can't do this right now? And you're going to bring those questions and you're going to have them written down and you're going to present them and you're going to give the answer. That is you like blatantly overcoming people's objections, which are excuses and reasons why they can't move forward and why they stay stuck. Or, it's like, what is your audience thinking? I can't do this, or can I do this if? Can I do this if I'm a busy single mom? Can I do this if you're telling me your program is designed to help me lose 30 pounds, but I need to lose 62 pounds? Does this work for me? So it's like, what are all the questions that are going through your audience's mind about why they think they can't do it and why they think it's not going to work for them? The cool thing about this process, which you all said yesterday, is once you've repeated this process a few times, you know exactly what your audience's objections are, so you can start overcoming them a lot sooner. But you still do that Q&A. That's like critical, no matter what way you're launching. Day 7 is Sunday. Day 7 is Sunday. Personally, I like to take the day off and not go live. I like to rest, I like to recover, and I like to promote people watching all the replays. So this is the other cool thing about this process. You will have people come in, they will binge watch all your recordings over the weekend, and they will buy your program on Monday. That is why you keep going 9 days. Every single time I've got people who come in and binge watch and they buy on the spot, didn't come consume any of the first 5 days. So you want to really promote the weekend. It's that Q&A, but it's also catch up on all the replays. But you've got to be the one who promotes that. Do not think that everybody's going to come and watch the replay on their own. You've got to stay top of mind, and you have to give people reasons to watch it, and you have to give them reminders. So that's really what your weekend is for. If you get to a point where you've got team, I really love to do a team momentum call. So we've got that tomorrow at 4 o'clock. You could do that on the weekend. If you've got team, you could actually take the Sunday off and have your team come and do a call and teach on Sunday. The other thing that you could go ahead and do if you wanted to on the weekend is have a success story. Have a client come on and you interview them, and you could start doing some client success stories because your audience wants to hear social proof from other people, not just you. So that takes us through day 7, which is Sunday. Now we have day 8 and day 9. That is Monday and Tuesday. Definitely, Monday and Tuesday, you want to bring on a client success story. I would do one on Monday and I would do one on Tuesday, live. And before you think, I don't have anybody who would do that, you absolutely do. Just think about it in a different way. You absolutely do. But that is a really critical piece that you bring on people who have been a success story in your program. Also, the other thing you want to do on Monday and Tuesday, and it's totally up to you. This is what I love about this process, because when I work with clients, I can really customize what the back half looks like for people. It's always 9 days, but we can kind of move around the days based on the person, based on your audience, based on what your audience is really presenting to you and how they're showing up and what they're asking from you. That's the cool thing about this process. You get to course correct based on what's going on. So at this point, you really get to look at like, hey, where are my sales at? Where are my sales at? What are the objections I'm hearing? Based on that, what do I need to show up and talk about on Monday and Tuesday? And I love to come up with bonus content that isn't part of my framework, and you really want to cover mindset. So Monday and Tuesday, here's the truth. Half the people are not going to show up. They're not going to show up on day 6 through 9. People are going to come get their free content. They're going to have their reasons why they're not going to join, and they're going to go off, and they're probably not even going to implement it. The people who stick around day 6, 7, 8, and 9, they are 80 to 90% of the way there to decide to say yes. And when we don't show up, what we're doing is we are not showing up for our audience. So when we get tired, when we say this is too long, when we say I'm not going to show up, we are actually not fully supporting our audience and our ideal clients, because someone who is 80 to 90% of the way there, they are waiting for you to say something that activates them so that they can say yes. Remember, an objection is not, I don't like you, I don't want to work with you. An objection is, I don't believe it'll work for me. And they are literally craving for you to activate them, and they just need to hear something one more time or in a new way. But if you don't show up, you are basically sending them right back to where they came to you from, sometimes worse off than when they got to you, because now they actually don't really know what to do on their own. So that's what's going on in them. I really want to kind of hammer that in. Your audience is waiting for you to say something that is going to activate them to say yes, because nobody sticks around this long during your launch event not wanting to work with you. So again, you cannot take the no personally. You have to show up for that person and on behalf of that person's higher self. Then Tuesday, that's day 9, your cart closes. Everything goes away. Like, that is their last chance to actually join your program, which is cool, because most people who teach launching, they teach you to keep your cart open forever. I don't do long cart opens. I don't want to have to, no, you don't want to have your cart open forever, because you have to keep coming up with more reasons to get people to say yes and buy. That means you have to keep coming up with bonuses. You got to keep sending emails. You have to keep showing up. You have to keep inviting, and nobody wants to do that for 2 weeks. I know you don't want to do that for 2 weeks. 5 days is plenty. Thursday to Tuesday, and you're done. And your people are in your program. And then you can gear up and do it 8 weeks later again. Like, that is music to my ears. I hope it is to you too. So the last thing here, and then I want to invite you and tell you a little bit about our Momentum program for those of you who have already been asking about it. Some of you have already booked a call with me to talk about if it is a good fit for you right now. So we're going to give you all those details in about 5 minutes. So just hang on. How to improve conversions during your launch. Again, these are things that I love helping people figure out, these little things that make all the difference in the world in their launches. And I'm just going to give you 5 of those today. There are obviously more, but here are 5. Number 1, the way that you can increase conversions during your launch is have live only bonuses. You're going to have bonuses. And you want to have bonuses that are only for people who are showing up live during your launch event. Live only bonuses. If you want to put in parentheses, here are a couple of suggestions. I would definitely do a live only pricing bonus. So that means they're going to save money if they join during your launch event versus if they wait like 2 weeks to join, or if they wait until the next time you launch. So have a pricing bonus. Pricing always moves people. And another type of bonus would be, think of something that would help your clients fast track their success. What can you do with them, or what can you give them to help them fast track their success or their speed at getting a result in your program? There's other things, but just jot those 2 down. Number 2, how to improve conversions during your launch event. Success stories with your own clients. Success stories. And I already said you really want to include those success stories either starting on the weekend or definitely by day 8 and day 9. And you can also start incorporating those success stories before day 1 of your launch. So you all saw me do that last weekend. I started posting like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, a whole bunch of pictures and client success stories and celebration posts. As all of you are coming in, that was one of the first things that you saw here. So you're already seeing, okay, she has clients, her clients get results, and it's not just one person, it's a lot of people, and it's not just one type of success, it's lots of different varying degrees of success. And I think that's really important with your success stories. If you pick your most mind-blowing client ever that was like almost an anomaly, it can actually be not believable to your audience. So, I've had clients, one of my clients, Christine, she's done almost $500,000 this year. She did $150,000 last year. Every single time she's launched, she follows my methodology. She does a $70,000 to $80,000 launch. She made $350,000 in the first 6 months of this year. Last year, she made $150,000, and she's done exceptionally well. Very much in the beginning stages of doing group programs too. She was maxed out with private clients. That is just super warp speed fast. And some people are like, whoa, I can't even wrap my mind around that yet. I can't do that. How am I going to do that? So I do share about Christine. And I also have clients like my client, Chanel, her launch was $37,000. My other client, Tiffany, she had an $18,000 launch. So my other client, Allison, had a $32,000 launch. So sometimes when you talk about the top of the top, it is off-putting to your audience because your audience thinks it's not believable. Oh, she could do it, but I couldn't do it. So you really want to have a mixture of client success stories. Number 3, this is one of my favorites, and I love teaching this because we have had instances. My client Dana, that's who I can think of, she has followed this process for a full year. She has launched 6 times, and I remember her first launch, only 4 people joined. Her second launch, 24 people joined. And she messaged me, and she was on day 8 of her launch, and she was like, Megan, something is not working. What is happening? I literally only have 4 people who purchased. And guess what we had her do? This is literally the end of her launch. I said, private message people, private message people, private message the people who've been the most engaged. And she went from 4 people who had said yes to 24 people who said yes without one sales conversation, 100% from private messenger. And most people avoid private messenger like the plague. I teach you how to make sales in private messenger. So it's also something that you don't just want to reserve and use. I think 100% of my clients, when they come in, they are not using private messenger the way that we do. And it is hands down probably the biggest tactic that we have them do that they avoided before, and we teach them how to do it the right way, and it literally catapults their results. And they never believe me when they hear it. They do not want to do it at first, but once they do it, they come back in the group and they're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe the one thing that made all the difference, it was that private messenger. So it's huge. Private messenger is where it's at, because that's where you really get to be intimate with people. Number 4 is ask your clients, or ask your audience and your future clients, ask them questions while you're going live. Ask questions. Ask them questions that really get them thinking in a new, different, elevated way. Ask them questions that end in the answer of yes. For instance, I've asked you all numerous times, does this process feel really simple to you? Is it simple? Can you see yourself doing this? Because here's what we know to be true. If your client can't actually see themselves doing it in their mind, then their mind is going to tell them they can't do it, that they shouldn't do it, that they should not join the program because this is not going to work for them because they can't see it in their mind yet. So you want to ask certain questions throughout your launch so you're helping your audience say yes to themselves, and you're helping your audience actually see and believe what they need to see and believe so that they say yes to themselves. And then number 5, this is also a big one, and this is where consistency comes in. It is nurturing your audience between your launches. Nurturing your audience between your launches, but with the right content. Nurturing your audience between your launches. And then of course, you want to make sure that you are making a no-brainer offer when you extend the invitation. You don't want to teach about tacos and then offer a cake decorating class. It's not a no-brainer. I wanted tacos. Now you're giving me cake? What? That's not what I asked for. So then you've got like these confused minds. So there you have it. That is a super, as fast as I could do it. I wish I could give you every single thing I knew about how to increase conversions, but I could keep going. We just don't have time. But now you can really start to wrap your mind around, what do these 9 days actually look like? Now you can really start to see yourself doing this and implementing this, whether you are going to be launching for the first time or you are already filling your group coaching programs in other ways. I believe from experience and doing it with clients, and I've got clients who teach launching in their programs and they're in our program. This will add, if you include this and incorporate this into what you're doing in your business currently, or you add it because you're not doing something to fill your programs, this is a 6 to multiple 6-figure, some of you eventually a 7-figure stream of income that you're adding to your business just through this one strategy alone. So I hope that you can really see that for yourselves. I hope that you are super committed to implementing this process in your own business. And I would love to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about our Momentum program. So if you would like me to spend 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes diving into what that program looks like, how we really support you inside of that program, what comes along with the program. I also have some pretty epic bonuses for you that you're going to want to get access to and get your hands on. So give me a yes in the comments if you want me to talk to you a little bit about that. I will take a sip of water and we will dive in. Thank you, Leah. All of you are powerhouses too, or you would not be here if you were not a powerhouse, right? Powerhouses attracted to powerhouses. Awesome. So let's dive in. I would love to invite all of you who are really at a place where you see yourself, and the next step for you is to dive into implementing this process in your business. So the next step really is about your commitment to yourself, your commitment to your business, your commitment to the life of your dreams, your commitment to repetition and elevating your brand, and also really elevating your mindset and stepping into that next level calling that I know you can already see for yourself. You would not be here listening to me talk for all these hours all week long if you did not see a much bigger vision for yourself and know that you are the person who is meant to be the vehicle who brings that vision to life. I want to help you bring your vision to light. I don't want you to have to struggle. I don't want you to be inconsistent. I don't want you to be exhausted. I don't want you to be burned out. I want you to be your best self in your life and also in your business, for your free community, for your clients, for your team, so that you can really operate in your zone of genius, hone your craft, and really create epic change in the world through your work, but also a ripple effect through your clients. And I truly believe that coaches and thought leaders are our world's next best teachers on the planet. Whether you are a business coach, a marketing coach, a sales coach, a money coach, a relationship coach, a sex coach, a love coach, a weight loss coach, a health coach, an allergy coach, a divorce coach, a spiritual coach, a hypnotherapist, any service out there. I believe that we, as a community here, we have got to have more money in our pocket because clearly money speaks really loudly. And the more you are making in your business with greater levels of ease, the more you get to choose where you desire to circulate those dollars in the direction of places of good on the planet. And obviously, it is not just about us making a bunch of money. It's about you really designing a life and building a business that fits that and doing it faster with greater ease and more simplicity than what you have tried to deploy or what you've been taught in the past. So that is really what we are all about, not just in Momentum, but in my entire company of Structured Freedom, me and Sean, we are obviously business partners. So that is really who this is for. It is for the implementer. It is for the action taker. It is for the person who has a really, really big vision. I'm less concerned about where you need to be right now in your business, and you need to be at this certain place in your business in order to join my program. I want you in this program if you are going to commit. If you're going to commit to your calling, if you're going to commit to your craft, if you're going to commit to delivering in your program at a high level of excellence, if you are going to commit to being the best version of yourself that you could possibly be as it relates to your relationship with your clients, I want you in the program if you want simple, if you want simplicity, if you are done with inconsistency, if you are done with lack of accountability, if you are done with lack of accessibility, if you are done with all the freaking tactics that everybody thinks you need to be deploying, if you are done trying to sell $37 somethings and $197 somethings and discounting all your prices, if you are really dedicated to repetition, to mastery, to consistency, to honestly doing the work that it takes, and also incorporating flow into your body of work and really honing your skill and honing your craft and creating a simple business model that feels really good to you, that feels aligned to you, that feels really authentic to you. So if you see yourself deploying this particular process, this main strategy, and obviously we're going to teach you other strategies too, but this is the main one. If this feels like it's a way for you to connect with your audience in a way that feels very aligned and authentic to you, if you can see yourself committing to repetition of this process and you are willing, able, and available to work it and repeat it until it works, because you are someone who has a no quit attitude and you have such long range vision and you have a long range mindset, or you are willing to develop that and you are not someone who's just going to like flail all over the place and be emotionally wrecked if it doesn't produce $2 million the first time you do it, and you will allow me and my team to serve you, to support you. If you will receive that, then we are so poised and ready and positioned to serve you, to support you, to provide you with the system, the structure, the surround sound support, the guidance, literally everything you need to make this work and for you to be a smashing success in your business, with your clients, in your space, and also in your life. So if you are ready to say yes to that, you may head on over to our product page. It is www.meganjohnsonhuber.com/momentum. It is a pretty short sales page if you need to go read all that. I'll tell you a little bit about some of the things you're going to get in the program, and I really want to spend some time very much highlighting our team, because I have really made it my mission to build a program that stands on a pillar of excellence. And in fact, I reinvest the most amount of my funds and my revenue back into my actual programs and into team development, so that we are really delivering and supporting our clients the way that our clients deserve to be supported when they're investing their hard-earned money and their time and their commitment in our programs. That is really, really, really important to me in this industry that, quite honestly, is about to bust. And the people who are going to raise the bar and the standard of excellence in delivery, I know that's you. We are going to be the ones who are here to stay and build legacies for the long term. We are really building solid footings here for you. So one of the things that is really cool about what we have is an exceptional level of accountability and support and training from experts that I believe are critical to your success. So I'll tell you a little bit about that. Obviously, I am in the program, obviously. You get access to me 2 times a week. So 2 times a week, I run a call You can get customized coaching and guidance from me. And I do a little bit of training as well. Usually my training is on the actual launch process and really talking to you about your offers. So my specialty is in offer strategy and business model strategy and simplicity of business model and offer, also high level delivery inside of your programs, and also the launch strategy that allows you to fill that flagship. So that is where I really fit in terms of what you're going to be working with me on. You get access to me 2 times a week. We also have a mindset mastery coach inside of our program. She does not teach fluff anything. You'll get to meet her tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Her name is Liz Nicholas. She has got 20 years of experience teaching about quantum physics, the quantum field, neuroscience, and she is literally teaching the science behind programming our minds so that we are wiring them for success. What she has done inside of this program is absolutely mind-blowing for our clients. We all know that tactics and strategy by themselves do not work. If mindset is not present all the time, it's just not going to work. So we have really combined the two of them, and we are always on the same page. So she's very much talking about the things that need to be discussed in terms of mindset for you to really get epic results inside of our program. So that's a team member. We have another team member, Laura. Laura is our marketing director, and she is a copywriting, messaging, and relaunch strategist and expert. And she is really helping our clients craft that right message so that you are using the right words in the right way, in the right order, so that you are attracting the right people, you are attracting those high-level clients, you are attracting those high-paying clients, and you are not spinning your wheels constantly hearing yourself say, I need to get clear on my message. I need to go over here and get more clear on my message. I need to figure out what my message is. I need to nail my message. Why is my stuff not landing? Why is my stuff not selling? We are eradicating that. We are done with that. And what she teaches is world class. It is first class. You are probably not hearing it from any other coach you are working with. I never have in my 9 years of taking programs ever heard anybody teach the way that she teaches in messaging and copywriting. You are going to stop wondering, what the heck am I supposed to be writing about every single day? What am I supposed to be writing about, so that people are reaching out to me to book calls with me to join my program. We are eliminating all of that fuzziness, that lack of clarity, and the not knowing and the confusion. And you have access to her every single week. She will even have her eyeballs on your stuff. Also, Elizabeth, who some of you have been private messaging with. If you came to the training last night, she and I did that together. Elizabeth is your personal success coach. So what that means is you get private coaching sessions inside of our flagship group program, Momentum. You get to meet with Elizabeth once a month for a total of 6 sessions. She is also very, very accessible to you. One of the really cool things that we have deployed in the last 2 months, 3 months in our program is something called a growth plan. So you do not just come into our program and we don't know what in the world is going on for you. We really focus on progress in our program, because if you can see that you are making progress, you will speed up the process of getting momentum. But in order for you to really stay on track, you need to be on your own customized growth plan. So Elizabeth and I actually work, you're gonna submit a welcome packet, you're gonna fill out a welcome packet, we learn all about you, she and I read it, she and I kind of start devising your growth plan. Then you work with Elizabeth in an hour session in the first month of our program, and you create your customized growth plan in our program. So yes, we're teaching you all the same strategy, but it is highly customized and it is highly personalized. With the growth plan, we also combine that. This is so cool. We combine it with a belief plan. So you have a belief plan and a growth plan that are intertwined so that you are wiring your brain to actually implement your growth plan and hit those milestones. You have a resource bank with all the resources that you need. You have a Facebook group, and obviously we are going to help you craft your launches, set the dates for those. We have a lot of accountability measures in place You literally cannot fail in this program unless you just, quite frankly, choose not to show up. You don't show up and do anything, we'll chase you down for a little while, but then it's really on you. But there are so many measures in place to help you stay focused, to help you repeat. We are all about excellence and mastery in terms of what we deliver, but also in really helping you develop that level as well. So we would love, love, love to have you. The price point of the program, this is a live only bonus. Let me make sure I describe our bonuses properly for you, and you can also see them on the sales page. But we have a pricing bonus. The regular price of the program for 6 months is $7,500, but you are going to have a $1,500 savings. I would love to save $1,500 when you join us before we totally close enrollment for this cohort, which will be Tuesday at midnight. So if you join anytime between now and Tuesday, the 29th at midnight, you are going to save $1,500. So if you come back to me 2 weeks from now and you're like, hey, I should have joined, I don't know why I didn't join, I'm ready now, can I get all your bonuses? Can I just pay $6,000? The answer is no, because you're going to find that just successful people are decision makers. Successful people have emotional and mental strength to make a decision, make their decision right, and their decisions elevate them. And we honor that, and we honor the fast action takers. So there's a $1,500 savings when you join us during our 9 days here together. There's also a really cool bonus. This is one that I have only done one other time, and it's one of my favorite bonuses I have ever offered. So jump on this because it's great. For the first 5 of you who join, we are going to have a virtual, like one day, not like 12 hours, but like we will spend quite a few hours together. We'll take a break for lunch. We'll meet on Zoom, and you get me for the day. But specifically, we're going to have a little launch retreat. So you are going to get me for like a day virtually, the first 5 of you, and we're actually going to map out your entire launch. We're going to look at your day 1 through your day 5, the framework. If you need help creating that framework, I'm going to help you structure all of it. We are going to go to town on all things launch together, and we will do that sometime in the first 30 days of you being in the program. That only goes to the first 5 people. That is a $2,000 value. So if I were going to sell that virtual day, virtually, I would charge $2,000 for that, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. So first 5 people, that is your bonus right there. There's a 72-hour bonus. So that means it ends Sunday night. So it's a little more than 72 hours. But Sunday night, that is September the 27th, between now and then, anybody who buys, anybody who joins Momentum, so this is not a certain number of people. So if it's 20 of you, it's 20 of you. My husband, Sean, is a phenomenal hypnotherapist. It has literally changed my life. It has literally changed my business. It has literally changed my subconscious. And a lot of our Momentum clients actually work with Sean, and their businesses are like blowing up, going through the roof. So I thought it was only fair if I extended my husband to you and his hypnotherapy services. So anyone who joins us between now and end of the day Sunday at midnight, you are going to get a complimentary hypnotherapy session with Sean. It'll probably be like 60 to 90 minutes, and that is a $500 value. And that is really going to help you start to reprogram that subconscious, get your mind in the right place so you can really elevate at the beginning of the program. That one's really cool. Also, I wanted to create a pay in full bonus. So our pay in full is $6,000. If you choose to do the payment plan, you can literally get started today with us for as little as $1,000. That is it. Just go do the math. What do you need to go sell to make that money back? Like one client, a fourth of a client, a half a client, one spot in your program? I think you could do that in 30 days. With us, you certainly can. But there's a pay in full bonus. That is a 90-minute fast track session with me, one-on-one. I don't give away my one-on-one time a whole lot these days. But it is a 90-minute one-on-one fast track coaching session with me. For those of you who join and pay in full, I like to give a bonus. And also, the other really cool thing we're doing, if you pay in full, I am hosting an intimate retreat in person sometime in 2021. And you're going to get to come to that totally complimentary when you join in full. The value of that in-person, very small, intimate retreat with others, it'll be a group, small group, and the 90-minute session with me is a value of $4,000. So the bonuses basically equal your investment into this program. So there you have it. We are super excited to welcome you and work with you in Momentum on this strategy, on your excellence, your mastery, your mindset, your messaging, your productivity, your success, your launches, filling your flagship program. So whether you are like, I've got private clients, I've never done a group, we will help you figure out your group program. We will help you figure out the names for things. We will help you fine tune your ideal client if we need to. If you are someone who has already done groups in the past and maybe you have not filled them to the level that you desire, we are going to help you do that. We are going to help you if you don't know what your signature system is and what your signature framework is, we can help you do that too, because it all goes into the flagship program. If you're not really sure, okay, well, how do I figure out like how I'm going to do my work in a group? We will help you figure that out. Price points, we help you figure that out. If you are someone who already has group programs and you are tired of the way that you're launching them and filling them, and you are really looking at a different experience that's going to allow you to scale better, this is great for you too. So we are really covering all of those. Doesn't matter what kind of service you provide in the coaching world, we've got everything. From business to relationship to health to love to spiritual and everything in between. So I'm super excited to see who steps up to the plate and makes that commitment and joins our Momentum family. We will get started with orientation next week. We've got orientation calls on Thursday and Friday. And we really have a nice onboarding process so that you feel really, really supported and focused coming into the program. So this is not a course where you buy and you all of a sudden get all these materials and training to just start sifting through, because that is not actually the way that is going to breed success for you as the client. So we've got a system, it's all down pat and ready to go. So head on over to www.meganjohnsonhuber.com/momentum. Check that out, go ahead and join us. And we will also pop a link here for you to schedule a call with me. If you would like to have a call, if you've got any questions for me to let you know if this is the right fit for you or not, is also totally fine. We will post that link too for you. And that concludes today. So I will see you back here tomorrow. We're going to plan your launch out tomorrow. So make sure you come back because we're going to get to work. We're going to get to work on setting some dates, putting some things in motion so this becomes your reality. So I will see you back here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And until then, I'm excited to welcome those of you who are going to join us in the family, and I'll see you inside of the Facebook group. Bye, everybody.